Hello. It's been ages since I've made a video. And so I decided to come and do like the most boring video I've ever done and do a repeat of it. Because that's the way my mind works. This over here is a pile of stuffed animals. Which I could have had the girls come in, or Seraphine, it was Seraphine, come in and clean up before I started recording. But then I would have run out of light, and I don't know how dark this room can get, and I can still record and be seen. Anyhow, something about this time of year, I don't know, I did this last year too, where I stopped doing videos, and then just all of a sudden out of the blue, right around this time, it might have even been this week last year, just randomly sat down and did a video. And so this is kind of happening again. So maybe it's going to be the way things are. I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about my Christmas videos, and I love going back and watching those. And I'd like to do that again. I'd like to do Advent videos. I think the snippets last year that I did worked pretty well. So I'll probably do it like that again. Just little bits, because the editing of whole big videos is just beyond me right now. It just takes up too much time, and I don't have that kind of time to spare. But the little ones, that's not too bad, and I love having them. And if I put them in a playlist and they play one to the next, that's not bad for watching, maybe. I don't know. It doesn't really matter in the end. People can either watch them or not. It's really more for me to have them. That's the main goal. So, something to look forward to or not, depending on how you feel about that. But I am hoping to do it. I started doing a little recording, of like vlogging type recording this past weekend. So I might either include that here or do a separate video depending on how long this runs. And as I did not plan this out really at all, I grabbed a few things and sat down. I have no idea how long this is going to run, because it could be absolutely ridiculously short or ridiculously long. Yeah, okay, so that is where that is at. Some knitting stuff, because I'm here. This little scarfy thing, something I never shared. It was just a quick little project that I did last year. I think I talked here about my friend who sent me a whole bunch of yarn that had been her mother's, and this was some of that yarn. There was just the one little skein. See if you can see it. I'm backwards on the screen, so I keep trying to unfurl the wrong side of it. That's what's happening there, if you're like thinking I'm acting crazy. Pretty yarn. This pretty speckled yarn. It was the first time I'd worked with speckled yarn. I think I might have even talked about this particular yarn last year, when I was going through things, or earlier this year, whenever that was. Anyhow, it was just a quick little project. I don't remember the pattern, or even if I used a pattern. Probably did. 1940s style. I know there's a lot in that. And you could find something similar. There's a lot of patterns like this out there. But it's sweet for chilly days. And today is a rather chilly day. One of the chilliest we've had, and we are expecting our first snow tonight, 3 to 5 inches. Which it's really been a ridiculously warm autumn. We've had no snow, and like incredibly warm days. A friend keeps saying, "Oh, the global warming's so pretty this year." So this is a little more seasonal. The girls are really excited, but it's supposed to turn over to freezing rain in the night and rain later in the morning, so I don't think they're going to get what they want out of it. We're not even going to see most of the snow coming down because it's not starting until dark. But I guess, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Okay, so that's this knitting, my current project. This is my current project. See if you can see. I don't know if you can see the flecks of gold. Yeah. Rather festive. This is the cottage cardigan. These are yarns that I had around. These, so I'm using two, this is the same yarn, but I'm using 2 strands of it. And this, I have no idea what it is, where it came from. I think it was just in like something I picked up at a thrift store, like a bag of yarn from a thrift store or something like that, or a rummage sale probably. Super fine, like cobweb yarn. So 2 strands of this and a strand of this, and this, which I can't get the camera to focus on. Also cobweb yarn. This is a mohair, and there's a, you can see there's some, if there's a strand, oh, there it goes. There's a strand of gold spun with the mohair. And this is left over from making my wedding veil actually, many years ago. I actually was really upset about the gold in it when I bought it, but it was just the best I could find, the closest to what I was looking for at the best price, because I needed a ton because I was making a whole big thing. And I was really upset about the gold, but it grew on me. And then I started knitting this. It was just kind of on a whim, seeing what I had, seeing what I could use up. I've been using up stuff I have around instead of buying new yarn. And I wasn't sure how I felt about it when I first started knitting it. And I don't know, I think it's growing on me. I think it'll work. I haven't actually tried it on. So you're getting to see it the same moment I am. So it doesn't have sleeves yet. It's just, but I just finished the body last night. So there. It's poofy. It's supposed to be, have a lot of positive ease, have a lot of room, which it does. I don't know, we'll see when it's done how I feel about it. I'm still not sure. It's nice, it's soft, it's festive, right, for the holiday season, glittery. I like the mohair and the fuzziness and the halo that it has. That part I like. So we shall see with that. It's here, this pattern here. And that's probably Ian texting me on my phone. But probably nothing urgent, so I will look at that later. So that's my current knitting. I finished up back in August Elijah's sweater vest, which I've been talking about for years, because I bought him the yarn and got the pattern for to make it for him for, I don't know, his 16th or 17th birthday, and then I sustained a traumatic head injury and couldn't focus my eyes. My eyes weren't coordinating, they weren't tracking properly, and so I couldn't follow the chart and the pattern. I actually was unable to even read for, I don't know, I think it was 8 months. And after that, it was still hard, especially with something so tiny and so intricate. So I obviously couldn't do it then. And then when I went back to knitting, I just wasn't, I didn't feel equal to it. I wasn't up to it. So it took me a long time to get back to it. And then because it was complicated, it needed all my attention, it would get put aside during busy times or times when I just needed something easy on the go. So I finally got it done. It was finished in August. It was entered into the fair. It took first place. Really funny. This really funny, weird thing about the fair. I absolutely dread the idea of being judged. I like that. That sounds horrible. Why would you want to do that? That doesn't, yeah, it doesn't appeal to me at all. But years ago, my kids convinced me. They really thought I should enter one of the sweaters I had made into the fair. And I finally, to please them, did. And it took first place. Actually, everything I've ever submitted has taken first place, which is not bragging in any way, shape, or form, because the things that I enter, it's usually like the only thing in that category, which was the case with the vest. And with, I think I entered 3 things this year, and at least 2 of them were uncontested. I think the third one might have been as well. And so that, whatever. That I feel like I'm just representing the art, you know, and not letting that die out and those categories die out. And it's just that there are other knitted items. It's not a ton of knitting that is submitted. And there are other knitted items, but they don't tend to be the kind of fancy work that I sometimes do. It's not the bulk of my knitting, to be sure, but I wouldn't submit the bulk of my knitting. I wouldn't submit this or this. I'd only put out, you know, something that really took some time, not the mindless type of knitting that I do so often. So that I feel like I can kind of get on board with. I feel like I'm not actually competing. I'm just making sure that these old skills remain and are represented in some way, and maybe that'll inspire somebody else to pick it up sometime. That's my hope. Yeah, so I finished it for the fair in August, and only recently got pictures of it a few weeks ago, but I have pictures, so I'll put them in probably at the end of this. And I'm really pleased with how it turned out, and I'm even more pleased that it's finally done and off my needles. That's important. Okay, so I was thinking I'd get a little bit of a head start on my planning for next year. I should have turned off the heater that's in here. We heat almost the entire house with wood. We have a wood stove, and we don't actually have a working furnace. But this one room has a small heater, a small propane heater, and it randomly turns on, and I hope it's not too annoying in the background. So last year I talked about planning for the new year. This year I thought I'd get to it sooner, because last year I think I did it, I don't know, like a day before, 2 days before, something like that. So I've got every year I do a book of meditations, and this was last year's, Hope for Today, which is an Al-Anon resource. I don't know if you can see how dog-eared it is. It's very dog-eared. I obviously, and these are more marks. So I've obviously gotten a lot out of it. I'm not done. I use, this was a card from a friend, and the card is made of a painting that the friend did. And again, cannot get, this is a new camera, and I can't get it to pick it up. But that's what I use for my bookmark. I like doing that sometimes when you get a really special card and you don't know what to do with it. bookmark. And so I have those in various books about special little things. It's nice to come across them and think of the person. So hope for today. Last year's, it was good. I recommend it. I do regularly attend Al-Anon meetings. Al-Anon, for people who don't know, is for friends and family of alcoholics. It's also, which a lot of people don't know, for people who come from alcoholic families regardless of if there was active drinking. So if you have a long line of alcoholics in your family, but say your parents were completely sober, you would still be extremely welcome, because there are certain characteristics and ways of being in the world that just are handed down in families where alcohol is prevalent. But even beyond that, even beyond the idea of alcohol and alcoholics, I found it just so very helpful with so many things. It's really been a huge place for growth for me. And I highly recommend it. And if anybody has any questions about that, you can feel free to write to me, and I will do my best to answer them without in any way preaching, because you do you. Everybody, different things are meaningful to different people. And so this was something that was kind of a key for me in recovery from certain things. And I'm putting it out there as it worked for me, and who knows, maybe it's something for you too. But you'll hear me talk about it from time to time, so I thought it was worth going into a wee bit. And from time to time being I picked my book of meditations for next year, and this was actually a gift to me from my sponsor. Just like in AA, Al-Anon has sponsors, which you can choose to have a sponsor or not. I do, and again, been very valuable to me. And so next year, I'm hitting up one day at a time in Al-Anon, which I've already read wee bits of, and I think will probably be lovely. I should have pulled aside a few readings. Maybe I'll do that another time. Okay, so many of you probably remember me talking about my planner from last year, or remember shutting off the video when I started talking about my planner from last year because I had a lot to say. And it was really boring. It worked. I used it. It was fine. It was, I complained about it beforehand, the things I didn't like. And it was fine, though. I knew it would be, but it just wasn't perfect. And I've yet to find perfect, and I probably never will find perfect. Some things I did like about it, though, is this is the first year in a while I had been doing kind of a bullet journal style thing where I filled in the dates and the days of the week and all of that, and I'm over it. Over it. I liked that it was already in there. My cat really liked this planner. Can you see the corner? Because I can't get it to focus. I keep it in a little basket on my desk where it's easily accessible and I can just grab it. The desk I'm sitting at now, which is in my living room. And she kept coming over and chewing the corner of the book. I have no idea why. All right, so this is last year's. This year, I decided to try something else. I had been doing this type of book from this company for the last 3 years. And they got a little more expensive this year, and I decided to just spend a wee bit more and get a fancier planner. From Papier. Pierre. I'm not sure how to say that. It's a French word. And I had a discount code, so it wasn't that much more expensive. So this is this year's, and I think it's called like Tapestry Pillow, the print, maybe. And it's personalized, and yes, I am covering up my last name. So that's it, front and back. I've been on this kick of, I needed some clothes this year, and I bought 3 dresses and 1 fancy and 2 like everyday, and they're all black with flowers, floral print. I don't know where it's coming from, but last couple of months that's been a thing. So I thought that was the way to go. This is actually not, it's more of a brown. The background's more of a brown, a dark brown. And the binding is really nice. It's really high quality. It's hard bound. The pattern's pretty. The print on it, like, they're trying to make it look stitched on, and it comes across a little bit just as blurry, but it's still pretty, and I still like it. It's fine. So, does not have a pocket in the back like my other ones did. No pocket, and that's a shame because I do like the pocket. I don't use it that much, but I like to put like lavender from my garden in the back of it. It does have a bookmark, a ribbon bookmark, and this I have found is absolutely essential. I absolutely must have this. Non-negotiable. So it has a lot of stuff at the beginning that is not going to be terribly helpful to me. I don't need a month at a glance type calendar. I'd rather just have my weekly, which it also has weekly ones. I'm not sure I get the point of those. This actually starts in December, so I have to make a decision whether or not I'm going to switch over to this in December or keep with my old one for the rest of the year. I'm not sure if I'm ready to get into the new year, and at the same time kind of like the idea of filling it and eager to start in it. There's a list of things to do and see for the month. That's kind of nice. I thought maybe sit with family and make kind of a bucket list each month. That might be nice. But then when you get past those, you've got, so this page says things to do and see. And then there's a breakdown for each month that includes monthly goals, to-do list, important dates, and wish list. And it feels like, I don't know, I don't feel like I need it in multiple places. And then there's room for notes on the back, which is nice, I guess. I don't know. I want to make my own planner, but I want not to have to make it. That made sense. I want to design my own planner, but I want to not have to physically write it like I was doing with the bullet journal. Anyhow, so you've got your monthly goals, you've got your to-do list, and then you've got your actual weeks. And these are nice. This is nice. There's lots of room. It's nice and clear. This I think will be good. It's not as it's actually significantly bigger than what I had been working with before. I'm trying to find a page that I could show you that doesn't have like important information on it. Here you go. Like that. So this is much bigger, much more space, which I probably don't need, but I don't mind having the extra space. The one thing I would say, it doesn't matter because it's so much space to begin with though, is a lot of planners do this where the week has really big blocks and then the weekend has little blocks, and I think that's silly. I think that's silly in this day and age because I think that especially families, the weekends tend to be like really crazy busy. And if anything, you need more space, or at least equal space to the weekdays. So there's a place for important dates in the back, which, why would I need a place for important dates when I'm already putting them, I already have the option of putting them in 2 separate places in the calendar. I don't know. Contacts, I wouldn't use this for contacts, but that's okay. And then there's a bunch of lined pages in the back for writing notes and things, and dot grids if you're into that kind of thing, and grids if you're into that kind of thing or want it to make a tracker or anything like that, which I might do. And then that's it. So on the whole, I'm actually pretty happy with it. We'll see how it works out. Yeah, we'll see. I wish it had a pocket. And it has more pages than I need. I just want the, I just want the weekly pages and maybe the month layout with the, you know, goals and the places for notes at the back. That's it. I don't need anything else. But on the whole, there's not a whole lot of waste in this. I had the same complaints about my last one, which had all kinds of craziness at the beginning that I felt like was unnecessary. So on the whole, this one doesn't have a ton. Size-wise, this one is much bigger, which I don't know that I kind of accounted for. So it's a decent bit bigger, like that. And it's also thicker, so a wee bit less portable, I guess, but I like the feel of it in my hand. I actually like the heft of it. It feels more substantial, and I like that. All right, I will stop boring you by talking about my planner. Something will follow this. I don't know, it might just be the pictures of Elijah's sweater. Sweater vest, excuse me. And there will hopefully be more to come as the month progresses, and certainly, hopefully, in December as well. So I hope you have a good night, and if there's snow coming to you, I hope you can enjoy it. Good night.